Wow.
I'm sure everybody's getting quiet.
Are we ready? Ready? Okay. Well, good evening, everyone, and I appreciate everybody coming out. Obviously, there's something special going on out here tonight. I guess we'll find out about that here shortly. But to get started, Renee, please show all board members present except for Mr. Hall. And if you will, join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. All right. Well, we have a lot of board salutes. This is absolutely our favorite part of the meeting and probably the whole job. But I think we're going to start out tonight with I think it's the Walnut Ridge ornament contest winner. And so, Ms. Kraft, I think would you do the honor?
Yes, that's my privilege. Walnut Ridge Garden Center in Jeffersonville recently sponsored the 9th Annual Children's Ornament Art Contest, with local children submitting drawings for the 2014 Jeffersonville Christmas ornament. Congratulations to Bridgepoint Elementary 4th grade student Gabby Taylor for winning the contest. This is the second year in a row that Bridgepoint Elementary student has won. Bridgepoint Elementary held a special assembly on January 17th to surprise Gabby with the announcement and to present her with the $50 prize for winning the design. The school's art department also received $250 in art supplies. Gabby's artwork will be produced on a glass ornament this summer and sold at Walnut Ridge Nursery and Garden Center during the 14 holiday season. A portion of each ornament sold will be donated to Gabby's charity of choice. The board salutes Gabby Taylor. Inspiring young artist.
She's not sure about that.
We are very, very proud of Gabby for her efforts. It takes a lot of creativity to do what she did, and she's a great ambassador of her family and of her school, the Bearsville County School. So Gabby, on behalf of our board and our administrative team, this is just a token of our appreciation for being such an outstanding young lady. Congratulations.
See. Next one is the Prudential Spirit of Community Awards Distinguished Finalist. And Mr. Satterley, would you do the honor?
Absolutely. Congratulations goes out to the New Washington High School's Bailey Minnick for being named a Distinguished Finalist for the state of Indiana for the Prudential Spirit of Community Awards Program. The Prudential Spirit of Community Awards Program is the United States' largest youth recognition program based exclusively on volunteer community service. The program was created in 1995 by Prudential in partnership with the National Association of Secondary School Principals to honor high school, middle, and high school students for outstanding service to others at the local, state, and national level. The goal of this program is to reward and applaud young people who are making a positive difference by volunteering in their community and to inspire others to think how they might contribute to their community. The board salutes Bailey Minnick. I know she's out there.
I've had the good fortune to sort of get to know Bailey in the year and a half or so that I've been here. I've seen what she has accomplished on the benefit of her school. I've seen productions that she's participated in at New Washington. She also participates on Channel 25 of Jeff High School, so she drives down to Jeff High School to participate in that program. very kind, very giving individual. And I'm not sure people understand just how significant her recognition is. I don't know if you can do anything better than offer yourself and your time to help others. And Bailey is that kind of person, and we're very, very proud of you. You're a great ambassador of your school, your family, and of Greater Clark. So, a token of our appreciation, Bailey, we're very, very proud of you.
Next is the Junior Achievement Banquet, and Ms. Teresa Perkins will be announcing that one.
Christina Gilkey and I had the opportunity to go to this banquet, the Junior Achievement Banquet. So we did get to see the person we're saluting tonight. And the board would like to salute Mary Wilson from Parkview Middle School for being chosen to speak at the 2014 Junior Achievement Kentuckiana Business Hall of Fame event that was held on Thursday, February the 20th. And it was quite a gala. The event is an annual induction ceremony honoring outstanding business leaders and entrepreneurs who, through their work, have made significant contributions to the quality of life in our region. The event benefits junior achievement, which all of our students get to participate in, of Kentucky, and has raised more than $1 million to support junior achievement's financial literacy, entrepreneurship, and work readiness programs. Mary Wilson was one of only 4 students. Now we're talking about Louisville, Clarksville, everybody around the region. Mary Wilson was one of only 4 students from the Kentuckiana area chosen to speak that night and to introduce one of the 4 laureates inducted into the Business Hall of Fame. We were very proud to be in that audience seeing Mary Wilson do this. We just beamed. Mary, will you come forward, please? Mary Wilson.
Good smile. You got a nice smile. Mary, junior achievement is something that our school system has committed to. They're a great organization. They have volunteers that come into our school corporation at multiple grade levels. Our teachers are trained to help provide courses throughout our school system, so they're a great partner for our school corporation. For you to be chosen and selected to be one of the 4 students to speak, a tremendous honor. We're very, very proud of you. And again, like I said to the others, you're a great ambassador to your family, Parkview, and Greater Clark. So on behalf of our school corporation, here's a token of our appreciation for how proud of you we are.
Mary looks lovely tonight, but you should have seen her that night. Woo!
Next, we will celebrate an elementary boys basketball championship, and Mr. Jerry White is going to take the lead on that one.
The board salutes Thomas Jefferson Elementary for winning the GCCS Elementary Boys Basketball Tournament held at Jeffersonville High School on Saturday, February 22nd. The team is coached by Amber Ridings, ended their season undefeated. What I would like for you to do, Miss Ridings, you're out there?
Right there.
Would you come up here, please? What I want your team to do is come up and stand with you now, please. And okay, her name, I'm sorry, what's on there? And then the cheerleaders. We always have to have cheerleaders. So would Meredith Rodriguez and Shelley Marshall come up? Are they here?
Yeah.
And are your cheerleaders here? If the basketball team members would come up with your coach, and if the cheerleaders would come up with your cheerleading sponsor, then what we would like to do is I'd like for you all to introduce each of your team members.
Oh, yeah, there is.
I saw that.
I don't have anybody that can do that, do I? I don't have anybody that can call out and say, come do it. Yeah. Yeah. Do all of it.
If you don't mind, let me just say something first, maybe as we're getting organized, because we'd like them to present the certificates.
You didn't get to high school?
Elementary basketball.
I missed that part.
I've been in other parts of
Who's
the
at middle
state.
school?
In elementary basketball,
Sounds
even though
good.
basketball is king in Indiana, elementary basketball is bigger here than other parts of the state I've been in. It's a big event, it's a big happening. And I think what's outstanding about it is it gives these young people the opportunity to compete,
You need to read that.
to work together as one, as a team, to learn the value of teamwork. I love the Final Four at Jeffersonville High School, just to see a lot of smiling faces, and that's really what it's all about. And they're having fun playing the game of basketball and playing with one another, learning what it's like to be incredible team players. So, very proud. This team is undefeated this year. And what I really liked about it is these young people showed tremendous class in every event, every game, in every situation. Very, very proud of them, not only as basketball players, but maybe more importantly, as young people. So I'd like to turn it over to recognize this individual.
Isaiah Swartz.
All right, next we will recognize the Martin Luther King Scholarship recipient and poster contest winners. Bear with me, lots of names. Some of them I'm probably going to mess up, so I just ask for your forgiveness in advance. On January 18th, Greater Clark County Schools and Jeffersonville High School hosted the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Holiday Committee MLK Scholarship Breakfast. Dr. Rita Shords, Chancellor of Ivy Tech Community College in Sellersburg, was the keynote speaker, and choir students from Bridgepoint Elementary and TJ Elementary presented a wonderful musical presentation. The board salutes Charlestown High School's Mary Hoff for being selected. Go ahead. To receive a $500 scholarship from the MLK Holiday Committee based on her academic record, involvement in leadership activities, and participation in school and community activities. Do you want to have her go ahead? And then we'll do the poster contest? Come on up, Mary.
You know, this is a very important honor. honor for our area, and Mary, tremendous work. So Gabe, smile. We're very proud of you for being such a great representative of Greater Clark. Congratulations. Small token of our appreciation, not quite the value of the $500 scholarship. We understand, but it does show our appreciation for what you've done to be such a great ambassador for your family and for Charlestown and for Greater Clark. So congratulations.
Congratulations also to the Greater Clark students that received awards for the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. poster contest. The celebration theme for 2014 was 50 Years Later. What would Dr. King say about his dream for America? Entries in the poster contest were judged on the basis of neatness, pleasing appearance, originality, and relation to theme. Winners received a free ticket to the scholarship breakfast and $100 for first place. Here's some awesome awards. $50 for second place and $25 for third place. The board salutes our Greater Clark winners and honorable mentions. There's a very long list. So what I'd like for you to do is when I call your name, go ahead and come up, and then we'll clap for all of them at the end. In the elementary, we've got first place from Bridgepoint Elementary, Kling Balsomo. Also honorable mention from Bridgepoint Elementary, McKaylee James. Also honorable mention from Bridgepoint Elementary, Kyla Franklin. These are our elementary division. High school, our first place winners, all Jeffersonville High School students. We have Alexi Carrion, Rachel Dilmagani, Mariah Harris, Sophia Harris, Devin McDowell. These are our first place winners.
No pressure.
No pressure. Comic relief here.
It's going to be the last one. There you go.
In second place, also from Jeffersonville High School, Levi Anderson, Rosemary Nesmith, and Thomas O'Neill.
He's trying to prepare.
Yes.
And Rosemary. That's got to be Rosemary. She's the only girl.
There you go.
In the honorable mention, also from Jeffersonville High School, we have Tiara Allen, Anaya Hay, Kajai Henry, Jasmine Jefferson, Sierra Ulrich, and Emily White. All right.
First of all, thank you for your patience. And again, all these individuals, very creative talent. The one thing that I really value a great deal about our school system is that we have so many talented young people in so many different endeavors. Whether it's academics, whether it's athletics, whether it's the fine arts, we have some very talented young people that never cease to amaze me in terms of what they bring forward. So again, thank you for being great ambassadors to your families and to the school of Greater Clark. Thank you.
And last but certainly not least, Mr. Satterley is going to talk about our famous scallywags.
Absolutely, and as Christina knows, this one touches home because we both graduated from the Scallywag School. So congratulations to the Scallywags, the Charlestown High School Performance Group, for being selected to perform at the Indiana Music Educators Association's annual Professional Development Conference in Fort Wayne this past January. Music educators from across the state attended workshops and concerts over a 3-day conference, and the Scallywags were the first group to perform on the first day of the conference and perform musical selections from their extended repertoire. The board salutes the Scallywags for representing Charlestown and Greater Clark as one of only 2 high school programs in the state of Indiana to perform. Repeat that again, only one of 2 high schools in the state to perform. And I'm going to ask Mr. Hayden, if he's here, to come up and ask his group, introduce them, and bring them up with him, and then I won't butcher the names.
I'm going to let you distribute them. Okay. Well, first of all, I've had the great privilege of listening to these young people in the past, and just so impressed with what they bring forward. And you know, it doesn't happen without having great leadership from a staff perspective. And Mr. Hayden brings that forward every day with every group he's associated with. We're very proud of Mr. Hayden for what he does on a daily basis to not only get these students together, because there's a lot of talent, but to make them sound the way they sound as a unit takes a lot of time and practice, and I'm very proud of Mr. Hayden. So we have certificates for each of these young people, and we'll let Mr. Hayden distribute them after they perform. I'd like to turn over to Mr. Hayden at this point. Okay. Sure.
Down.
What tremendous talent, and tremendously gifted, tremendously talented, and we are just so very proud of you. I wish we had a recording of that right there, because that was pretty awesome. So we do have a recording of that. So again, before I let this go, parents, you know, the one thing that we recognize is we recognize our young people, but those parents who are here and those that aren't, I mean, this doesn't happen without having tremendous parents who are very giving and supportive of what we do. So parents in the room tonight, thank you for everything that you do to help make Greater Clark a better place to be. Thank you.
All right, well, now comes the boring part of the meeting, so anyone who doesn't want to stay around, you're certainly excused. We appreciate everyone coming out, and have a good evening.
And there's everybody exit. Well, the babies are, they need to go.
Well, if you're going to stay, they might have government class that you signed up for.
Oh, my pleasure.
That's just weird.
They still out there in front.
Well,
I think
they're,
when you government
they're
signed up
super
for
government.
government, that's what that was my guess too. I'd sign off and let them go if they want to go.
Very talented.
I would.
They need to see how long the meetings last. They need to hear.
No, actually, they do need to hear the real
Yeah,
stuff, not just the.
not just the good stuff.
No, they decided. Normally, they have to have a signature.
Oh, I guess they're leaving.
Wow. A good government teacher will send them back without a signature.
I think they're currently a set teacher.
Yeah.
may have been the most people we've had here for Yeah, that was awesome.
That was great.
Yeah, they knocked that out of the park.
Oh my gosh.
All right, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started then. First of all, we need to approve the agenda, so do we have any changes tonight? Dr. Miller,
sir.
Board?
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley. Comments? All in favor? All right, thank you. 7-0.
6-0.
I'm sorry,
6-0.
6-0. Forgot that guy down on the, wasn't here. Approval of minutes from the previous meeting. We'll go ahead and take executive and special meeting together.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley. All in favor? 6-0. Public comments on agenda items. Do we have any comments tonight? I think we do, don't we? Oh, Mr. Denton. All right, Mr. Denton.
No.
Oh. Okay.
Well, leading off the most boring part of the meeting, I appreciate being here to start with, and I want to talk about the calendar, and I want you to know, as if you didn't already know, calendar is probably one of the toughest things that we have to decide on and come together on, and I don't know that anybody ever always agrees on every part of it. But I appreciate the calendar as it's set up this year, and I just wanted to set up for next year. I'm about the 2014-2015, and I'm thinking about the intercession part. And I had a lot of teacher comment, and I just wanted to share with you. A lot of teachers who commented about if you thought about it sometimes that you might want to make this adjustment, moving intercession towards the end of the year. And if we had as many snow days as we had this year, that'd be a possibility, and actually teach 10,000 kids or so during that intercession time that we have now, and let the 1,000 kids then have intercession at the end, because they're still going to need reading and mathematics and some of those things. But to work with more kids that first week of spring break may be a key time to get them ready before everybody has to take all those different tests that we have to take. And well, not we have to take, but the kids get to take all those tests. And it might be a possibility, and I just want to propose that to you as you think about the calendar. And I know you pretty much have a good idea of what you'd like, but I had a lot of comments from teachers that could be a change that we want to consider one of these days. And I thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Denton. Appreciate it. All right, next we'll do the consent agenda. We have actually 5 items on there tonight, and we'll take all those together.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Questions, comments? All right, all in favor? 6-0. We would like to, at this point in time, we have approved a new Jeff High girls softball coach tonight, and Ms. Jordan, could you stand up so we can recognize you? Mm-hmm. So, thank you. Welcome. We're glad to have you as part of our Greater Clark family, and we're looking for great things. So, anyway, good luck to you.
And Board, just also to let everyone know that we're pretty fortunate. Chelsea came highly recommended by both the University of Louisville softball coach and the Indiana University softball coach. So we feel very fortunate to have her, and thank you, Chelsea, for taking the time to be here tonight. And we're behind you and fully support. Good luck.
Okay. Next item is gifts to buildings, and Mr. Satterley, this is yours to discuss.
As always, we have something gifted. It's a smaller list tonight, but nevertheless still so supportive and shows support from our community. Looks like Charlestown and Jeff both have something. Someone didn't want recognition, but whoever they are, we appreciate it. And let's make a motion to accept.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Ms. Kraft. All right, questions, comments? All in favor? 6-0. Thank you. Now we'll get into action items. Action item number 1 is school-age child care provider. So I believe that is,
That'll be me.
that would be the superintendent.
Thank you, Board. Tonight, Indiana Code requires school corporations to provide opportunities for nonprofit organizations to offer a latchkey program in school facilities. And by code and board policy, we issued a request for proposals on May 14th of 2012. And at the board meeting on June 19th, 2012, the board approved Communities in Schools as the GCCS school-age child care provider for the 12-13 school year. This agreement included a provision for 2 annual renewals, and this recommendation is the 2nd annual renewal. Communities in Schools will continue to provide the strong educational component of the program. The rates for the 14-15 year will remain the same as those for 13-14. Board, it's therefore my recommendation that we approve Communities in Schools in Clark County as the Greater Clark County Schools school-age child care provider for the 14-15 school year.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Mellon.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Ms. Kraft.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. White. Questions, comments? All right. All in favor? Be 6-0. Next item is the Joint Service Agreement, 2014-15.
Board, attached is the Clark County Special Education Cooperative Joint Services and Supply Fund Agreement for Special Ed. This agreement is signed annually as part of our Joint Service and Supply Act in Article 7. So I'm recommending approval of the Joint Services Agreement for the 14-15 school year.
Motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Questions, discussion? All in favor? Be 6-0. Thank you. Next item's the agreement with ProCare Therapy for speech-language therapist.
Board, this agreement with ProCare Therapy will provide contract services with Melissa Granger, a speech-language therapist, through June 9th, 2014, at an hourly rate of $62. Ms. Granger will work a maximum of 7 billable hours per day during her 5-day work week. This is a replacement for the remainder of the 13-14 school year for a full-time speech-language therapist who resigned on February 21st. So I'm recommending approval of the Client Services Agreement and Addendum A with ProCare Therapy for services of a speech-language therapist for the balance of this school year.
Thank you, Dr. Miller.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions, comments? All in favor? 6-0. Number 4 is revision to policy 4171 and 4271, tobacco-free environment. First reading. No action.
Board, we have several policies for first reading tonight, and basically they all entail the same type of thing, and that's changing or adding language related to e-cigarettes. We have policies in place related to tobacco. We'd like to add and recommend that we add e-cigarettes to that language. And so, if you'd like, what we've also done is taken the liberty not only to add that language, but to also clean up some language through all 4 of the policies that are presented for first reading tonight. Some of the language was a little outdated, and so we appreciate Mrs. Lewis and Mrs. Maples for their help in making the revisions. They're here for first reading. No action tonight, and so if you would like, all 4 of these action items are first reading, and just wanted to have you there see them for your information.
All righty. So we're going to take actually 4, 5, and 6 together.
Yes.
Is that okay? Yeah, no action, and so they're all based upon the same e-cigarette issue, and we just took the liberty of modifying. And in the documents that were provided to you, there's some strike-throughs and some highlighted areas, so not anything major. But please let us know if you have any questions or concerns, and we'll take action, recommend action on that in a month.
As we're adjusting these and changing these policies, we talked about going through the Neola process. Do you know anything about that, when it's going to begin, or has it begun?
It hasn't begun yet. I know that there's been communication to organize but I don't know the details of that. So unfortunately, Mrs. Lewis was not able to join us this evening, but we'll try to get that information back to you as soon as possible.
All right, thank you.
All right, next item is workers' compensation renewal. So, Dr. Deichel, I guess you're up.
Oh. If you want, I can. I mean, I'm just getting warmed up.
That's okay. In 2012, the Greater Clark County Schools went to a self-insured workers' compensation insurance plan versus a fully insured plan. Our first year was very successful, costing a total of $260,434 versus our fully insured premium of $472,624 for a total savings of $212,190. On a self-insurance plan, we purchase a basic insurance package and excess insurance, and then we have to pay all the claims. With that being said, the workers' compensation insurance industry, that's hard to say, is becoming tough to get a good rate even if you had reduced your claims and incidents, which we did last year. Last year we paid $40,045 for the insurance coverage, and this year it will be $44,667 for an 11.5% increase, even though our claims paid and number of incidents declined. According to Nice-Lukens, the market is hard right now and everyone is seeing increases regardless of their past claims and incidents. With that being said, the superintendent recommends the renewal of our workers' compensation insurance with Nice-Lukens at a cost of $44,667.
So moved.
Thank you, Ms. Satterley. Do I have a second? Thank you, Ms. Kraft. Questions, comments? All in favor? All right, be 6-0. All right, next, tell us about the Summer Food Service Program.
Okay, the Department of Education has identified our school corporation as meeting the criteria for eligibility to participate in the Summer Food Service Program. This program is for children 18 years of age and younger with 3 meals during the summer months and other times when school is out of session for extended periods like our intersessions. This program also allows us to employ our food service people for a little bit longer by using them during the summer school and the intersessions. There is a financial incentive for participants participating as the rates for reimbursement are higher than they are for the National School Lunch Program. With that said, the schools that we're recommending are Jeffersonville High School, Maple Elementary, Parkwood Elementary, Pleasant Ridge Elementary, Riverside Elementary, Spring Hill Elementary, and Wilson Elementary. Superintendent recommends making application to the Department of Education Summer School Food Service Program.
Thank you, Ms. Kraft. Have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Any questions, comments?
One question, Tom.
Yes.
Have we ever analyzed the need for New Washington at all?
Natalie, does it qualify? Do you know?
They don't qualify because they don't get about 6%
Okay.
but you can piggyback off of another school, which I got details for Wilson this year. Because I'm new, I'm sorry, I don't know the answer if they've ever ran across New Washington, but I can find out too.
If you don't mind.
And if we can get it in, we'll come back and just add it to this one, if that's okay.
That's fine. Thank you.
All right, any other questions? All in favor? 6-0. All right, next item is the temporary interfund loans.
Sure. The county's distribution of property, license, excise, commercial vehicle excise, and financial institution tax revenue is distributed to the school corporations normally in June and December. This revenue delay will result in possible shortfalls for the school pension, debt fund, capital projects fund, transportation operating fund, and bus replacement fund at various months during the period January 1st through December 31st. The general fund, debt service fund, and rainy day fund have sufficient funds for the temporary interfund loans needed. The school pension fund, capital projects fund, transportation operating fund, and school bus replacement fund will receive sufficient revenues in calendar year 14 to repay any temporary loans made from the general fund, debt service fund, and the rainy day fund. The superintendent recommends that the Board of School Trustees approve the resolution ratifying and authorizing temporary interfund loans between the general fund, debt service fund, and rainy day fund to the school pension debt fund, capital projects fund, transportation operating fund, and bus replacement fund as needed for the period January 1st through December 31st.
All right.
Otherwise, we get written up by the auditors.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Satterlee. Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Have any questions, comments?
So basically, we're just moving money, we're passing a resolution to move money from an account that has money in it to another until those funds come in.
Correct.
All right. All in favor? It'll be 6-0. Thank you. All right, next item is permission to advertise for banking services.
Yes, our current 2-year banking service agreement with Your Community Bank expires on June 30th of 2014. We have asked Your Community Bank if they would be willing to extend it, the current rates we receive on our deposits, and they have declined. We had an option in there to extend it for another 2 years. We were getting 0.75% interest, which doesn't sound like a whole heck of a lot, but in today's market, that's great. Therefore, we would like permission to advertise for a new 2-year agreement with an option for 2 additional years. That's what will be in the RFP, like it's in the current one that we just had. Therefore, the superintendent recommends the approval to advertise for banking services for July 1st, 2014 through June 30th, 2016, with the option to have another 2 years after that.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you, Mr. White.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Satterlee. We have questions, comments for Dr. Dykle on that? All right. All in favor? It'll be 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next item is the 2014-15 school calendar.
Board, as Mr. Denton alluded to earlier, school calendars are always a challenge. You know that we made a big commitment to go to a balanced calendar, with this year being the first year. It's been a challenging year, obviously, because of the weather, but we have attached a calendar that we have discussed with GCEA and really taken input from parents and a lot of other individuals from our community, as well as our teacher group. So we tried to find the best possible solution moving forward, honoring the balanced calendar, and what it would involve, if you don't mind me going into some detail. It will start with teachers reporting on July 28th. There'll be 3 teacher professional days. Students will begin on July 31st. August will be in school every day, and in September we'll be in school every day except for Labor Day. In October we'll have our 2-week intersession and fall break. In November, the 4th is Election Day, and we'll keep our students out of school on that day because a lot of our facilities are used for elections, and we don't want to mix our adults and our students just for safety purposes. Thanksgiving, we will have the Wednesday off before Thanksgiving, which is something that I know many people appreciate. And then we have our 2-week break in December and the first part of January after the second 9 weeks is complete. Martin Luther King Day will be off and honored fully. But we will incorporate some snow days, starting with President's Day, February 16th. We will have our 2-week intersession spring break, the last week in March and the first week in April. And in the month of May, we'll have Oaks Day as a snow day. We'll have the Friday before Memorial Day as a snow day. We'll obviously have Memorial Day off. And then as we head into June, the last Student Day will be June 3rd, the last Teacher Day, June 4th, and then we've marked in orange the 5th through the 11th as potential extra makeup days if absolutely necessary and essential. Hopefully we won't have to use them. And then commencement is also the 12th and 13th, and so again we hope that that gives us enough time between the time school ends and so we don't have to be going to school for commencement. This year, we're still, even despite missing yesterday, we're still at a point where we have a couple of days before commencements. So let's hope that we don't have any more weather delays. But as we look at the 14-15 calendar, we think that it's not, it does the best job possible honoring all of the different aspects and elements that we've heard from many different facets of our community. So it would be our recommendation and my recommendation that we adopt the 14-15 calendar as presented.
Thank you, Dr. Miller.
Move to accept.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley. A second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Mr. White. Questions, comments?
So if I'm counting correctly, if we look, including those days in June, we have 8 snow days, potential snow days?
Correct.
Okay.
And again, I think that June 4th, the last teacher day, could technically be one for students, and then also the 12th, which would be the day of commencement. So there's technically 10, but let's pray that we don't have to come close to that.
Okay.
Dr. Miller, I have 2 questions. I know when we had a discussion, we had talked about possibly the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, but I see we've put that on here. Can you just tell me how that came about?
Well, in conversations, different surveys that we've had, it was one of the days that our teachers in particular, but a lot of our staff, thought was helpful. Okay. And a lot of families that have to travel, trying to get to Thanksgiving locations, it was something that our staff felt was beneficial. And so that's why we had at one point, you're right, we were trying to go to school every possible day we could go to school, to be honest. And but we feel like we found some compromises, and that was one of them.
Okay. And then also, I have been crazy busy, so please forgive me. The 22nd of May.
Why?
That's not a holiday. It's the Friday before a holiday. Why that day?
There was some discussion at one point that why don't we try to use every Friday in May as a snow day? And as we really tried to discuss that, we felt that we didn't want to go to that level or that extent. But what we did do is, because Oaks Day is on a Friday, obviously, the 1st, we decided to come to a compromise. So instead of all 4 Fridays in May, we decided to pick just 2, Oaks Day being one, and then we just thought that if we're fortunate enough and we don't have to use the 22nd, then people would have a 4-day Memorial Weekend. It's after I-STEP testing, so we don't have to worry about that. And so, again, it was a way to find some compromise in having some snow days built into the school year.
Okay. Thank you. Those are my questions.
You're welcome.
I know that some other school corporations around us are looking at their intercession time, but I also know that we've got a lot of plans for our intercession. This one coming up, and I know it'll even get stronger next year, even with the comments Frank made. I've been asked this, well, that school corporation is doing it, but they don't have anything planned as of now. So I feel very strongly about the fact that we did go to a balanced calendar so that we could have those times to help our kids in most need and to provide some enrichment opportunities. So.
And thank you, Mrs. Perkins. I mean, I think that's a tremendous benefit of the balanced calendar. And when you made the decision to do that, I think it was a very good one. And when you think about the fact that you can benefit, we've invited 1,800 students for the spring intercession. Now, I don't know whether we'll get all 1,800 there, but that is almost 20%, well, 18% of our school population that are students who are in need of extra attention. So I respect Mr. Denton and the GCA's position, and I get it and I understand it, but I think that if we're a balanced calendar school system, then that's one of the main reasons why we did what we did. And frankly, I'm proud of the fact that our staff has made that commitment to help that many kids and provide what ends up being 40 additional hours of instruction that other school systems are not providing their students who are in most need of that.
And I hope our public understands that, or it's clarified to them, because I've had several people ask me, why aren't we doing what X school corporation's doing? And when I explain to them that they're not giving up anything by doing that. They're not giving up the additional 40 hours of instruction, that we have planned and our teachers are going to work very hard with these young people who need the extra help. So there's, we're looking at apples and oranges, in my opinion. We've got something going, and we need to keep that.
I totally agree. I mean, I think we all thought that intercession is really non-negotiable, and so, if you start using snow days during that period, then really the kids don't get a break at all if they're in that first week of class or intercession. So, I think we feel pretty strongly about that. We support that decision. So, all right. All in favor? All right, be 6-0. Thank you. All right, item number 12, property exchange Parkwood.
Board, we have an opportunity at Parkwood Elementary. We own property that is south of the building, and it's been utilized in the past by not only Parkwood but by the Clarksville community. However, we have had a lot of interest shown by commercial developers over in that area that are very interested in expanding their commercial reach, which would potentially enclose Parkwood, surround it with commercial development on a couple sides and with residences on the other. And so we have an opportunity to exchange property that we own that's just south of Parkwood with some land that is just east of Parkwood, which is just off of Lombardi Drive and Pulliam Drive. And it is, after a lot of review and discussion, we believe that it's in our school district's best interest to protect our interests by exchanging land, working toward exchanging the two pieces of property. And we would be working with Ballou Enterprises. We are asking the board to consider the issuance of a letter of intent to Ballou Enterprises that would be related to the purchase by transfer of land at and adjacent to Parkwood Elementary School, and it would be subject to several criteria. You've had the opportunity to review that letter. Mr. Ballou is prepared to sign that letter, and so all the criteria would have to be met in order for this transaction to be completed. So I think we're protected. Mrs. Lewis has done a great job as our general counsel working with the Ballou Enterprises and putting the document together. So we believe our interests are protected, and ultimately having more access to Parkwood off of Lombardi Drive and having that piece of land gives us some flexibility that we're going to need to have over the future as Clarksville continues to develop commercially, especially right in that vicinity. So it would be my recommendation that you would authorize the issuance of that letter of intent to Ballou Enterprises related to the purchase by transfer of land at and adjacent to Parkwood Elementary School. And board, I'll be coming back to you because there are several steps that we'll need to follow, and I'll keep you informed every step along the way.
Thank you, Dr. Miller.
I move to approve the issuance of the letter.
Thank you, Ms. Gilkey. Thank you, Ms. Perkins. Questions, comments? All right, all in favor? Be 6-0. Thank you. All right, next is the reports and request. So we'll start with Ms. Perkins.
I guess I want to thank Airmark for entering the chili. If you did come to that and sample their chili, it was incredible. They didn't win this year. I tried to get people to go around and vote for them, but it was a little different this year. The flavor was a little different, but it was delicious. And I appreciate our school corporation out there at a fundraiser for Main Street. And people were talking about, now, if you weren't there, but they also served, are you ready for this, with their chili? What should it be? Peanut butter sandwiches.
No.
They did.
What?
It was the only, it was incredible. People said, oh, it's just like school. It is school.
Old school.
Have none.
Okay. Ms. Graff?
Are we looking to doing an ad like this? Just passing on things. We need to do something, I guess.
You know, one of the things that we've been really focused on is our camp kindergarten program and getting our new young families and their students in. We've been trying to advertise to get our students in, and we've also done the direct mailings and the postcards that hopefully you've seen as well, and opened up our schools, you know, for other students to come and see. Certainly, this is something that we can look at as well as we're trying to make the decisions we need to make to help our community understand just all the great things we have to offer. It would have been great to have had our board salutes tonight recorded, and maybe they probably were by Daniel Parrish, but to put those out to show just how many talented people we have and what we're producing as a school corporation, I think it'd be very advantageous for us.
I got a call today from a student who had been at Jeff High School maybe, I guess, in the 80s to thank us for how easy college was and how, well, you're welcome. You know, but what do you say? She said it was because I went to school there and because I had the kind of classes I had and the things you're doing now is what made it so easy. And named off people in the same classes. I thought, oh my gosh. And named off what they were doing and how successful they were. So yeah, we do a lot of good stuff.
Thank you.
Mr. White?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. Ms. Gilkey?
I just want to make sure you all know, this Friday, I'll be going to Indy. The Indiana School Boards Association is having a Board of Directors meeting. And a big part of that particular meeting is going to be the process for finding a replacement for Dr. Frank Bush. So, a big deal, a big meeting, lots of discussion, and so I just wanted to make sure you all know that. If you have any questions, concerns, anything you want to be expressed in that meeting, call me and let me know before Friday. And then also our ISBA spring meeting that we'll be having, that will be his last meeting, his last regional meeting with us. So I think we're going to work on getting a thank you, something, plaque, gift card, something, just to recognize his decades of service to the Indiana School Boards Association. So wanted to make sure you all knew what's going on in the state and the region on that note.
We'll just pray you don't get snow.
Yeah.
Like we did. We didn't get snow.
Yeah.
And we know that because the District 10 representative is on our school board, so I'm pretty proud of that. So thank you for bringing that back. That's all I have. Dr. Miller?
Well, Board, really, I just don't have a lot of items, but I just want to talk for a second about our college and career readiness piece. We just had another advisory meeting, and we had leaders come together and have some good conversation trying to develop some specific action steps, and I look forward to bringing those details to you. But Travis Hare is showing great leadership with our counselors. We have some partnerships. We have people that are coming to us as a result of our efforts. They are the Home Builders Association of Southern Indiana came and met with us, and now they're on our advisory. We have some other large corporations that are showing interest in joining our advisory and becoming very strong partners moving forward. And we have some other pretty exciting news that we're working on, and when I'm able to express that publicly, I'm looking forward to that. So there are a lot of positive things happening as our goal is to make sure that every student graduates accepted to a post-secondary opportunity, and as you know, that all starts in our preschool and kindergarten levels and establishing that foundation for that. And so I just feel like we're moving in a really good direction and getting some really strong community partners behind it, and I just wanted to express that, and I appreciate your support, Board, because without that, none of this would be possible. So thank you.
Okay. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Satterley. Surely I can get a
Second.
second here. Thank you, Ms. Kraft. All right, all in favor? All right, good night.